But this is why we know that the change is coming. It is inevitable that the state of Israel is going to fall. How do I know this? How does Jen know this? Because of this. French President Emmanuel Macron says France will recognize Palestine as a state. You cannot continue to promote a lie when even the French, the cheese-eating surrender monkeys, will come out and say that Palestine is a state. French President Emmanuel Macron announced Thursday that France will recognize Palestine as a state in a bold diplomatic move amid snowballing global anger over people starving in Gaza. Israel denounced the decision. No, they were going to embrace the decision, I'm sure. Macron said in a post on X that he will formalize the decision at the UN General Assembly in September. The urgent thing today is that the war in Gaza stops and the civilian population is safe. Well, we're long past that. Could you imagine putting out that statement almost 2 years after this started?
No, it's pathetic. Can I give a shout out to my dad who's watching, who doesn't, I don't think, normally watches. That's my dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Mr. Pilchick. The mostly symbolic move, well, you know what? Give credit to AP, for saying it that way.
Yeah.
The mostly symbolic move puts added diplomatic pressure on Israel as the war, the genocide, and humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip rage, just like they're now annexing the West Bank. France is now the biggest Western power to recognize Palestine, and the move could pave the way for other countries, US, UK, to do the same. More than 140 countries recognize a Palestinian state, including more than a dozen in Europe. Well, that's not really saying much. It also goes to show you how most of the world, including Global South, all recognize Palestine, except for, half of Europe recognizes them at this point? And certainly probably mostly Eastern countries, I would imagine. The Palestinians seek an independent state in the occupied West Bank, annexed East Jerusalem and Gaza, territories Israel occupied in the 1967 Mideast War. Israel's government and most of its political class have long been opposed to Palestinian statehood and now say that it would reward militants after Hamas's October 7th, 2023 attack. Shocker. And of course, coming straight from the genocidal horse's mouth, we strongly condemn President Macron's decision.
No, you make him sound Russian.
Israel Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu said in a statement, such a move rewards terror and risks creating another Iranian proxy, just as Gaza became, not because we did anything wrong. A Palestinian state in these conditions would be a launchpad to annex Israel, not to live in peace beside it.
All right, can we talk about the sort of elephant in the room with the France thing?
Please.
Just, okay, why now? Why now? First of all, what took them so long to get to this point?
Well, we all know what the biggest reason is and what the biggest reason always is. It's not politically tenable to defend Israel anymore.
No, okay, but so what I want to know is then, what was the turning point for Macron? What was it? What's going on? Because the timing is very interesting. Is it, okay, they are now willing to acknowledge that people are starving? They've known that for a long time. That's not new. The Holocaust started, almost 2 years ago. So that's not new. So why now? What's in it for him? That's what I'm curious. And I don't know enough about French politics or how their, electoral process is or where they are in it to know. But he obviously has some sort of motivation for doing this. And it is very, very just symbolic. Let's be very clear. This is a very symbolic gesture. And yeah, that's kind of nice. But I am curious, what's in it for Macron? Why now?
Well, in accordance with always our wonderful audience that shares with us, of course, Canadian Socialist has always been on top of a lot of stuff. The French left pressured him. They won the last parliamentary election and they are pressuring them. And you know what? It's probably a big part of it.
Okay, well, good. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how the process is supposed to work. But that's what I'm saying. Whatever it is that's causing him to turn his position, it isn't out of the kindness of his heart. That's my point. I just didn't know what was going on there politically to encourage this or push this, but good. And the French, we need to learn from them. There's a reason that the yellow vests work, right? So the French they don't tolerate. I mean, they got in the street with yellow vests because they wanted to raise their retirement age a year or something.
The French ladies and gentlemen, depending on the year, have the highest rated healthcare in the world. Why do you think that is? Because their people demand it and they don't accept anything less. Kudos to them. We should learn a thing or two from the French. We'll finish it out before we bring in our esteemed guest. The Palestinian Authority welcomed it. A letter announcing the move was presented Thursday to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Jerusalem. We express our thanks and appreciation to Macron, Hussein al-Sheikha, the PLO's vice president under Abbas, posted. This position reflects France's commitment to international law and its support for the Palestinian people's right to self-determination. There was no immediate reaction from the administration of President Trump. And I doubt there will be. But not a surprise, I would imagine on your part, that Netanyahu, of course, came out immediately and denounced it. And now we're looking at a situation where the pressure mounts for the end of this horrific genocide. We all know that things have been set in motion that are not going to change the fate of most of the Palestinian people. Yeah. But as Jen and I have pointed out time and again, the whole purpose of this is that there will be a reckoning for Israel and the Zionist movement. And hopefully that will happen sooner rather than later. So we as Jen would say, bear witness.